God.
I mean, I can't help you with that, unfortunately.
Hey, Oscar. Just do it there. No way.
Well, so we have to do it again.
I hope Oscar's okay with it. Jesus.
Well, I mean,
Is here.
shit happens. I mean,
But, Jesus Christ.
well, so we have to do it again.
Nate.
Okay, give me a sec. I will be back in a moment. Yeah. Shit happens. Okay, give me a sec. I will be back in a moment. Yeah.
Jesus. Hey.
So, have you found out what's wrong?
Yeah, well, we are live now, just so you know. Uh, so, mistake on my part. Uh, Apparently, after you set it live, you still have to click the go live button. So
Okay.
there is that. I thought it's like schedule it once on time, it would just go, but no.
So we can run a podcast. How not to run a podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Oscar's asking you to um like amp up your mic or your volume. Add a little gain to his mic, that'd be wicked. Just like 2 decibels. So, okay, okay. So can you try to do that? Huh. Okay. So yeah, apparently your mic is pretty quiet to him. I can hear you just fine. Yeah, actually, uh, the volume is just
Can you
fine.
hear?
I can hear you
Can you
fine.
hear me?
I can hear you
Okay.
fine. The whole time I can hear you fine.
Okay.
I think for Oscar it's a little bit harder to hear you. Okay, you know what? As just a backup, this is gonna completely kill my battery, but I'm gonna record it on the laptop in at the same time. So god damn. That was such a great first podcast as well. It's kind of disappointing to like, you know, uh, so many great discussions, so many talks about Steam and, that kind of stuff. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, how not to do a podcast 101. Make sure you click the go live button. Oh Jesus. No.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Peter, can you turn your mic up just a little bit?
I can try, but I'm not sure. Can you hear me
Just,
now?
I think in Discord voice settings, there's a little gain slider.
Hold on, I will check.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, stuff just happens. Yeah, I just hope this next one is still flowing and natural because we'll be re-asking questions and recovering. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that was really good that AMA, I think. Got some good. That was really good that AMA. Got some good questions and all projects should sort of be promoting their tokens out a bit, like giving them out. So, what did you say? More projects should be giving out their tokens. Yeah, I think the blanket airdrop model is just so flawed. Like you look at the EOS tokens, and there's most of them are worth less than a cent because they were given out for free. Like we're trading at 30, 40 cents just because we didn't give them out for free. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Stellar Bell's a really, really good sort of writer, communicator, creative. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's a cheap shot. I don't see any sort of path to value from there.
Okay, so just as a backup this time, I have it live streaming, but also gonna start recording. Hopefully, my laptop can handle it, but you might experience a little bit of cut out from my audio, just because that's like, putting extra strain on the laptop. But I want to have that
Yeah, no
safety
worries.
there this time. Make sure we got it. Okay.
All right, too easy.
Peter, you there?
We've lost Peter.
Yeah, I actually could hear his mic just fine. You sure it's not the setting on your end?
What's that?
You sure it's not the volume on your end? Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, well, I'm just on my phone and I've got my call volume turned up to max, so that's why I just asked him because there's nothing
Ah,
more I
okay.
can do on this end to make it louder.
No, no, but like you can hear my audio just fine.
Yeah, yeah, yours was fine. Yeah, Peter's was just a little bit quieter.
Oh, okay, okay.
You've got a deeper voice as well, though, so
Fair enough, fair enough. More bass to my voice.
bold bass. Oh, it is so hot here.
Yeah, how long you
It's
been
like
in
Nigeria is
Nigeria?
like Australian summer all year
Oh,
round. Like 6 months now.
6
I
months.
came in November, sort of thing. Yeah,
I'm assuming there's no winter in Nigeria.
yeah. It's pretty. There's like a is it a rainy season kind of, but not even really.
Okay.
There's like a dusty season, but yeah, it's pretty much just like hardcore summer
Uh
all
huh.
year round, which
Fair enough.
which
Fair
isn't
enough.
too bad. Like I kind of like hot weather more than cold, but yeah.
You know, I've never been to New Zealand. I heard, or Australia. I heard beautiful nature in those two countries.
Yeah, I've only been to New Zealand once, and I just went to Wellington, which is like the political capital. So didn't, but we saw a bit of scenery, and yeah, it's really beautiful. But my first sort of observation was it was not like if you're looking for a sea change from Australia, you're not going to get much of a sea change.
Yeah, yeah,
Cultures are very similar. It's all the
yeah,
same
yeah.
shops, all the same brands, same food.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They call you Kiwis, right? Like, I heard from my friends, like, if you want to make befriend a New Zealander, just call him a Kiwi.
Yeah, that New Zealanders are Kiwis, Aussies are Aussies.
Aussies, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and Americans always say Aussies,
Aussies,
Aussies.
Aussies.
But it's more a Z than a S.
Nice, nice. Oh, have you been to America?
Nah, I never have. I'd
Really?
really
Huh?
like to. Yeah,
Huh?
America's a really really interesting place. Like politically, culturally, it's a very very wide cross section of people.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you visit like the coastal cities like New York or California. You know.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I think that most of the world grew up on American culture. So
Yeah.
I'm really into like old school '90s golden era boom bap hip hop. So like I'd love to go to New York and just see
90s
a bit of
era.
that.
90s era. What? Sorry. Movies.
Hip hop, like
Hip
golden
hop.
era boom bap.
Uh, like. So,
You
can
know,
you
like
drop some names?
Mob Deep, Biggie, like
Uh.
just boom, boom, the
Yeah. Yeah.
real hip hop. Not that stuff they
Yeah.
make in
None,
California. The other
none
stuff.
of the mumble rap stuff happening now.
Yeah, oh, that's in a sad state.
Yeah, it's hip hop has not been healthy lately.
Yeah, it's very different. There's some great like technical rappers out there these days, but yeah, overall musically, I don't really feel for it much.
Well, there has been like a bit of a pushback within the rap community. It's like, oh, like all this mumble rap stuff. Yeah. So it's,
Yeah, like
yeah.
J. Cole and stuff like that. They're sort of really taking it back to its roots.
Yeah, yeah. Amen to that. It's funny because I told you that I grew up in China, right? I spent my childhood in China, and then
Mm.
when I moved to New York, I didn't learn that much English from school. Most of my English I picked up from Jay Z. Just like listening to Jay Z and just rapping along Jay Z.
Yeah, okay.
So like Jay Z was my English teacher. So
Yeah, you speak to a lot of people that like that around the world, and like they've learned like watching Friends or like
yeah,
hip
yeah,
hop or just American culture.
yeah, yeah. Let me ping Peter and see what's going on.
Yeah, I hope I haven't like made him stuff up his entire audio setup.
Yeah, he's probably like disconnecting everything and building a PC from scratch. How's the internet infrastructure in Nigeria? There's actually quite a huge
um,
Steam like oh yeah you mentioned it Steam crowd, but also
yeah, it's
EOS.
Can
there's
you hear me
so
now?
many Nigerians on Steam. Yeah,
Peter.
Yeah,
Peter.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it should be better. I mean, I try to fiddle with the system, but
Yeah, that's a little bit louder now. That's perfect.
Nice, nice.
well, I just listened to your conversation about New York.
Ah, yeah. What's the Polish attitude towards American culture?
I mean, can you repeat? Because I mean, I was getting lost. Well,
No, we're just talking about how widespread American culture is. Like
yeah. Okay.
like I know Poland used to be former Soviet Union, etc., etc. Like are they all
Well, I mean, it was used to be, well, okay. I mean, it's quite complicated, I would say, because we were quite westernized, even by that standards. You can't compare Poland to Soviet Union.
right, right,
I
right.
mean, Soviet Union was, for all practical purposes, like Soviet Union, East Germany, and Czechoslovakia were like really concentration camps. People,
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, okay, I mean that's the best description. People were not able to travel.
Right,
We
right, right,
were we were able to travel. It was a
right,
bit of bureaucratic hassles, but I mean, I could go to the West.
right, right, right,
Well, it required some tricks and some bureaucracy, some red tape to be bypassed, but it was not impossible.
right,
Like it
right,
was impossible for Soviets, or it was impossible for East Germans, or it was impossible for Czechoslovaks.
right, right. Okay.
So a bit different story. I mean,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
there was a joke in old times that because the whole group of those communist countries were called like communist camp. So, and the camp, especially in Poland, is sometimes associated with concentration camp.
Right.
So there was a joke saying that although we are living in a camp, our barrack is the most funny one. So
Oh. Communist jokes. Okay.
yeah, well,
Peter always
sometimes
tells
it's
me these stories about like the Soviet days, and it's like the most interesting stories ever.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess let's save that for another day. Because I had to take two. We're already live, so that's good. Check
well,
YouTube.
we've been
It's
live
fine.
for something like 10 minutes, I think.
Yes, yes. But I'm also gonna hit the recording now, so I'm gonna put out the recording instead of live stream. So just to let you guys know, recording is going to start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome welcome back to the Novusphere podcast. The second one in today. The first one, that was my fault. We had a great conversation that you unfortunately will have to miss out on. But yeah, today we have Oscar. How do you say your last name, Oscar?
Goullet, Oscar
Okay,
Goullet,
Oscar Goullet. Oscar Goullet and your company's name, your project's name?
Anox.
Anox. Okay, I knew it was something like that. So we have Oscar Goullet from Anox, the first ever security token to launch on the EOS blockchain. We're here today to talk about his project. If you didn't know, we just concluded the AMA yesterday. They asked me anything on the Anox forum. So if you have any questions that you didn't hear covered today, you can always go to the AMA, even though it's finished. Drop Oscar a question and he will happily answer you. We also have Peter, a community leader in discussions. He's the one in all the Telegram groups chatting the people up. So yeah, welcome back, I should say.
Thank you. Yeah, good to be here. Good to be back. Back once again.
Yeah, round 2. So yeah, Oscar, let's go to briefly give an overview of your project and what are you aiming to achieve with Onyx.
Yeah, I don't think we actually really covered that last time, but yeah, so we're a security token, the first one on the EOS blockchain. Our vision is we want to sort of make the exclusive financial system that's really right now only accessible to the uber rich with $1 million in disposable income, in disposable wealth. We want to make that accessible to each and everyone on the planet.
That is a fantastic summary. So yeah, the first ever security token to launch on EOS blockchain. And just playing up with what you just said, it is true. If you are not a accredited investor, I think this is what Oscar is referring to. If you basically don't have $1 million in your bank account, you are barred from entry from a lot of investment opportunities. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And yeah, and it even excludes the house you own. So even if you've got a $2 million house, unless you've actually got $1 million spare in your bank account in stocks or bonds or whatever, then all the investments that rich people make, which is largely just hedge funds. That's just inaccessible to you. You need $1 million to open those doors.
Yeah.
So
So
basically, you are going to collect the $1 million from retail investors, right?
Yeah, so well, hopefully a lot more than that.
I
You
mean
know,
the
the
minimum,
average
yeah.
in the average ICO last year was 30, so we're aiming for 30. The market's a lot tougher now, but we want to raise as much as possible.
and what will you be using that money you raise for?
So you just cut out for a bit there, Jux. Can you say that again?
Yeah.
So yeah, you say you want to raise, $30 million, and we brought it up a little bit in the previous podcast. What will you be using this money for?
Yeah, so we'll be investing 80% of that, and that'll be going directly into other funds. We'll be investing in other hedge funds. 20% will go to marketing, all other costs associated with that. As we covered a bit earlier, to even pull off a successful offering these days, you need to throw a sizable marketing budget at your offering to begin with.
Yep.
So there's substantial costs involved.
Right. Right.
Are you going to invest in one fund or multiple funds?
Yeah, so initially, we've got our partner funds performance up there on the net. They're doing 39% returns annually for the past 4 years, which from memory was like 380% or something ridiculous. I know it's not that ridiculous in the cryptocurrency space, but for a dollar pegged instrument, that's a really good return. And we'll be setting the bar around there. We want to return to our investors 25% NAV growth, uh, which means we need to be only working with the best of the best funds who are really top of their game and doing exceptionally well.
Okay, and you are aiming for like capital gain, really, not for dividends, right?
Yeah, correctly. So we will be paying out dividends because we want the community to really be involved in the project and sort of having a say in, for example, how big a dividend we pay or what the token inflation is. And eventually, we might like the community to actually be able to cut us out of the picture and form a foundation and run the whole thing itself. We're not in any rush to be the DAO on Ethereum, which dived straight into that completely decentralized model, and it did not work out too well. But yeah, so we're going to use dividends to incentivize community staking and holding and community governance, but that'll only be a small portion of the gains we're accruing. We want to just compound grow the majority of those returns, leading to capital growth in the secondary market.
Okay, and then earlier you said that something about the peg of the token. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, so I think last time we were talking about just my background in Steam and stuff and where I got the idea for this project. And that was looking at the Steam dollar price action end of 2017. And what we had was an instrument that was pegged to the downside at $1. And the peg was fully functional at that time. And then what that led to was speculators being able to take large positions in SBD, knowing the risk was $1 and actually pumping it. I think
Up to 10
$14 or
or
something was
40,
the high
yeah,
point.
yeah.
It was like, and that was the core. That was the best time to be publishing on Steam. So yeah, we got a bit of inspiration from that. That if you've got something that's pegged to the downside with limited risk, but it can free float to the upside, then people are going to be wanting to invest and speculate on that asset.
Yeah, but in your case, the peg would be what? Would be anchored on net asset value, yeah?
Yeah, correct. So NAV, net asset value. So our peg won't be to $1 or 50 cents or some other currency. Our peg will be at net asset value, which will be the total amount of money in the fund divided by the total amount of tokens outstanding. And to enforce that peg, so we don't see a break like we've seen in SBD, the company will actually buy back shares if they fall below NAV, and that will be with company money. Because in that situation, if we're out on the open market and the token's trading below NAV, that
Mhm.
suggests there's insufficient demand for the token, so we'll be pulling shares out of the market in that situation.
How are you to organize the buyback? I mean, assuming that the token would be listed on different exchanges,
Yeah, so that would be
or
with company
or would you
funds.
would you
We'd need.
would you create would you create an interface, and I could come and say, okay, on the exchange the token trades at 68 cents, so give me $1.
Yeah, so we're going to have our own sort of internal market available on the website,
Ah, okay, okay.
but we won't restrict ourselves to just doing that. Like for if there's a price crisis on one exchange or another, and tokens are cheap, and let me clarify here, like if tokens are trading below the value of NAV, that's free money. Because if the shares are
Yeah,
worth 80 cents a share and then someone's selling them at 60 cents a share, the company would be stupid not to step in and buy them, because that's
sure.
a 20-cent profit like that. So our primary source will be on our own little single market decks, but we'll also step in on exchange if we need to.
And one another question which already probably have has been answered but not recorded. The
Rewind.
selection of jurisdiction.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is why we haven't sort of gone for Warbly, which is very sort of US focused, and we're actually not that interested in the US market. It's just a minefield. It's a big crypto market. It's probably the vast majority of the English speaking crypto market, but it's just a minefield. It's too difficult compared to the
Minefield
upper
is a good
gains.
term, yeah.
So what we've done is we've gone for the Bahamas, which is a very, very popular jurisdiction for hedge funds, mainly due to the favorable tax treatment there, where IBCs don't have to pay tax for the first 20 years. And that means funds can run there without their investors having to pay returns on those investments until the profits are repatriated. And another great thing about the Bahamas is our closed-end fund structure in the Bahamas, Cayman, Singapore, and Hong Kong is actually an unregulated structure that can be offered to retail. And that's because the company only issues shares once, and thereafter shares are traded openly on exchange. And the regulators assume that the exchanges and secondary markets will do their own due diligence on that front. So yeah, we've gone with the Bahamas because we can do it's a reputable jurisdiction where we can easily offer our product to retail, no worries.
And so people who are wanting to invest into your token won't have to go through KYC per se, right? You said the KYC is mostly done to the DEX
Uh,
or exchanges in
you
general.
just cut out a bit there. Could you please
I mean,
restate that?
I understood that he was asking if the buyers of the tokens would have to go through KYC.
Yeah, so if you're participating in our STO directly with us, if you're wanting to buy tokens from us at the seed price, pre-sale price, issue price, then we will have to KYC everyone. Um, but our token will also be freely traded on decentralized exchanges. So if you're incredibly privacy focused and you're really averse to doing KYC, then you're free to participate in those the capital gains aspect on the secondary market.
I think that you're speaking to our crowd because our crowd is very privacy focused. And we there has been a bit of concern regarding security tokens because again, one of the big things that you have to go through KYC. So it's interesting to see like you taking this model where uh like you could it's up on the exchanges whether or not they want to do KYC. However, your token is still freely available on the market for purchase. Do means that doesn't require KYC.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we found a really good middle ground there where the token is accessible, yeah, compliant. But regarding privacy, like when someone says they don't do KYC, I have to question how serious they are because, like, I didn't do KYC with my exchange either until I needed to start withdrawing more than $10,000 at a time. So if you're a big player in crypto, if you're doing big withdrawals, big trades, chances are you KYC'd someone. Uh, if not, you'd probably find some little gray area backdoor where you've got you're managing to get around it, but you're probably also paying a price premium for that privacy.
Yeah, you probably, yeah, we are paying premiums for that, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, the KYC is not always about privacy. I mean, generally, I'm not a person who is very concerned about my personal data. Okay, but from the other hand, if I have to provide my personal data to some unknown setup, like Warbly, for example, which is registered in Singapore, and I know fuck all about them really, then okay, that's a bit tricky because I mean I don't mind doing KYC with the registered financial institution regulated by somebody in a decent jurisdiction. Okay, but if I have to do KYC with some, well, sorry for the wording, but I mean dodgy setup. I'm not talking about this project. I'm talking about some exchanges, located in China or Vietnam or who the hell knows where. Then it gets a bit tricky for me. So I don't have
Yeah,
any
like
problem with KYC in principle. I have a problem with providing my data to everybody all over the place, because I don't know what's going to happen with this data.
yeah,
So
like
that's
I
my
come from
problem.
Forex, and like foreign exchange brokers, you've got to do KYC with every one of them. And like I've changed my phone number quite a few times because I used to just get calls constantly, like at least 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah,
So some
by our
dodgy broker has sold my
yeah.
data onto other brokers and other cold calling agencies and said this person is interested in Forex, and you just end up getting swamped. But that's in the regulated financial industry. So
Well, one of the solutions is to get the premium number. So if they call you, you get paid.
Is that something
what's
that
that? A
exists?
premium?
You can get
eh,
a premium number. So if somebody is calling you, you actually get paid for it.
Huh. I never heard that.
Yeah, okay. I've never heard that.
Okay. Well, moving on. Moving on. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just digging through some of the questions here. So you launched your token back in July 2018, right?
Yeah, and that was we actually, we weren't sure how much resources were going to cost, and but we just wanted to be first to the punch. So we got a token out there quite quickly in July. But we weren't actually ready to bring something to market at that point in time. But we were one of the first tokens issued on EOS way back then. I actually did a search for our name the other day on Google, and this screenshot of a Telegram chat came up with like people in the EOS Telegram going, "Oh, look, this token ANX has just been issued. Another airdrop coming." And yeah, I thought that was pretty.
Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you say you guys are not like you guys are still raising like your C rounds, if you will, from different individuals. Yeah.
Uh, can you said we're still raising capital from individuals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing our seed round. So in the background, we're targeting big investors, trying to get enough money to get this off the ground. But our seed sale is also just open to anyone who's willing to invest $2,000 or more, just to keep the sort of administrative overheads down and to justify the price discount you get because the seed tokens are 67 cents on the dollar, which is a 33% discount. So yeah, that's open to anyone who's willing to complete KYC and invest 2K or more.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Just curious. How do you do the KYC?
So that'll just be manually for the moment in this seed round.
Okay.
But eventually, we'll for the proper sale, we'll hook in with what's it called? I think it's called Jumio. I'm not sure because here where I am, there's another company called Jumia, and I'm mixing them up. But yeah, we'll hook in with one of those big
Okay.
KYC providers, and that'll provide a bit of security on that front.
Okay. Just if you don't mind me asking, how big is your team?
The team is actually quite small right now, and I'd say that's actually our biggest weakness. A, in trying to raise capital, and B, present this project. Um, it's a bit of a chicken or the egg. You need money to get good people, and you need good people to get
People
good
to
money.
get money.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just doing the best we can right now. If anyone is awesome and talented and willing to work for tokens, then shout me out.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
But like, how many individuals do you have on the team, if you don't mind?
I started it with a couple of guys. They're more just sort of shareholders. They're not that active in the actual day-to-day operations. I'm out here working like 70-hour weeks.
Oh wow.
But I've
Okay.
got a great UX guy from Brazil and his partner, a web developer, and they just work brilliantly together. Like I've worked with UX and web dev guys before, and like the UX makes something brilliant, and then the web developer has a go at it and like totally trashes it. It doesn't look anything like the wireframe that the UX guy put his heart into. And these guys are like they just work brilliantly together. Like our current website reflects Kozak's design vision down to the very last pixel. And
Nice.
we built that website back April last year, so it's probably about due for a refresh. But yeah, I really like those guys. We've also just onboarded Chief of Operations, Nick. He's got like a 10-year background in security, engineering, and project management. And I think
Nice,
he's
nice.
going to bring a lot of the top-down organizational, directional skills to the team. We're scouting for a CFO and CTO. Um, that would sound strange for your average sort of technical project. But ANX really isn't a technical project. We're
Right,
not doing
right, right.
artificial intelligence. We're not putting humans on the moon.
Not yet,
So
not yet
we're
at least.
gonna, yeah, not yet, not yet. Maybe we'll do the Tesla SpaceX thing later.
Okay.
So we're gonna outsource a lot of our smart contract development, and you can these days in this modern age, you can get some really great work done really cheaply. Like our smart contract development with staking, voting, dividends, internal market on the website is only going to run us literally like 20 grand plus RAM and CPU resources and all that. Compare that to hiring a single full-time developer, 100K.
Right, right. Minimum.
So like, yeah, exactly. So like,
Well, it
for a
depends
fifth of
where
the
you
cost of
hire
putting
him.
one, yeah, it depends. But at the end of the day, one guy probably wouldn't be able to get the job done either, or he might
Yeah.
produce substandard work. So we're going to outsource to a reputable firm that also does security audits. So they'll be developing our contract, and then a separate team will also be auditing that contract.
Okay, cool. Peter, you got any more questions?
No, I think we have covered more or less
Yeah, well, including the previous podcast, but
all the important bits and pieces.
yeah. Oscar, do you have something you want to add that we might have missed?
Yeah, I can't remember how I finished this off last time, but yeah, I'd just like to say that our seed rounds are open to anyone. Like all these ICOs in 2017, you got big VC buying in at like 10 cents, and then the token was going at like 50 cents. And what happened, you see it on every chart, is you get the moon once it hits exchange, and then all the early investors are dumping, and you get that spike down. And you can see that on lots and lots of ICO projects. So right now, our seed round, you're taking a bit more risk than other investors who come in once we're ready to go 100% public. But on the same note, you're getting in cheap, you're getting in early. And I think that's a great opportunity, which isn't usually out there available to the general public.
Cool, and you're gonna have another white paper coming out, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Thanks for jogging my memory. That's just our next project, next thing on the timeline. we'll be looking to have a light paper out in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it a light paper for a reason. We don't believe you need to have like these epic thesis documents for projects that never even produce a product.
Mm-hmm.
The original white paper for Bitcoin was 3,000 words, so we'll be aiming for something in that region that'll be telling you everything you need to know about the project and not much else.
Cool, cool. Okay, well, before we say goodbye, I just want to, again, this is not financial advice. None of, well, at least I'm not a certified financial advisor. Oscar is a great friend of the platform. He's contributed a lot to helping, reward content creators, but also answering questions about his project on the forum. However, this is not an endorsement. Do your own research, and your best source of information is Oscar himself. If you have any questions, just drop your question on his forum. That's eos.discussions.app/anoxio. You can find it on the right sidebar, one of the first ones. Yeah, so with that, thank you, Oscar, for coming on again. Thank you, Peter, for coming on again. And we will see you guys next time.
It's
Cheers.
sweet. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Cheers.
Okay, recording is done and live stream